Imagine this. You're sitting on your favorite couch, watching the news or chatting with friends, when suddenly you realize, could this simple act of sitting, something you've done your whole life, actually be harming your body now that you're over 60? Could the very position you're most comfortable in be quietly crushing one of the most sensitive and vital parts of your body, your prostate? And what if this one habit was triggering urinary issues, discomfort, or even worse, putting your health at serious risk without you even realizing it? Comment below with the city you're watching from. We'd love to see how far this message reaches. Now, let's dive into this silent issue that affects millions of men across the country, often without them even knowing it's happening. You see, the prostate isn't something most people talk about. It's hidden, it's private, and for many men, it's something they only think about when it starts causing problems. But here's the catch. By the time those problems show up, the damage might already be underway. So, what does sitting have to do with it? Isn't sitting just sitting? Not exactly. Over time, the way we sit, especially in positions where the pelvis is tilted backwards or the pressure is focused directly on the perineum, that's the area right between the base of your spine and the genitals, can start to affect blood flow to the pelvic organ. Yes, that includes your prostate. But it's not just about blood flow. When you sit with your legs tightly crossed, or when you slouch in a recliner for hours on end, you're compressing muscles and structures that are already under strain as you age. Your pelvic floor weakens, your posture deteriorates, and your internal organs, including the prostate, end up fighting for space and support. Doesn't sound too harmless now, does it? Now, you might be wondering, but I've always sat like this. Why should I change now? That's a fair question. The thing is, the body becomes more vulnerable to pressure and inflammation with age. After 60, the risk of benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, increases significantly. That's when the prostate grows larger and starts pressing on the urethra, making it harder to urinate. Add poor sitting posture into the mix, and you're accelerating that pressure. See how it starts to connect? Here's something even more surprising. Recent observational insights suggest that men who sit for prolonged periods, especially in a slouched or tilted position, may report more frequent urination, disrupted sleep due to nighttime trips to the bathroom, and even chronic pelvic discomfort. Now, those symptoms might not scream prostate problem to you immediately, but guess what? They're often the first whispers before things get worse. And no, standing up every now and then isn't enough. It's not just how long you sit, it's how you sit. If you're putting direct pressure on your pelvic floor, or if your hips are rolled back and your spine curved, you're inviting a host of issues that could have been prevented with just a few adjustments. So let me ask, how are you sitting right now? This brings us to the twist no one talks about. It's not just about the chair, it's about muscle tone. As we age, our glutes, the muscles in our backside, lose strength. Weak glutes mean less natural padding and support when you sit. That means your prostate ends up bearing more of the load. Over time, that increased pressure can affect the nerve signals, blood flow, and lymphatic drainage around the pelvis. And that's where things start to spiral. But here's the kicker. This pressure may not only affect urinary health, but could potentially be linked with long-term changes in sexual function and even lower back pain, all from the way you're sitting. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, but I can't stand all day. Of course not. That's not the solution. The solution is awareness, micro-adjustments, choosing chairs with proper lumbar support, sitting forward on the edge of the seat instead of reclining for long periods, even using a small cushion or donut seat to take pressure off the perineal area. These are small things, but over time, they can protect something most men wish they had taken more seriously when symptoms begin. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Most men don't go to the doctor until symptoms get severe. But here's the opportunity. Proactive care. If you're over 60, this is the decade to protect your prostate. Don't wait for the wake-up call. By sitting better, standing more often, walking regularly, and maintaining healthy pelvic muscles through light exercises or stretching, you're not just avoiding discomfort, you're preserving freedom. Freedom from frequent bathroom trips, from medications, from invasive procedures, And all this from one simple change: being mindful of how you sit. If you ever sat on the toilet and cried out of frustration, you need to hear this. A retired NASA nutritionist used a plasma-infused oil extract from algae to reduce prostate inflammation by over 90% in initial trial. The recipe is now in a leaked demo video that's spreading fast. You'll find it in the comments. But wait, there's more. Have you ever heard of perineal compression syndrome? It's often associated with long-distance cyclists, but we're learning that even office workers and retirees who sit for hours can experience similar nerve sensitivity and pelvic inflammation. It starts as a little tingling, maybe some numbness, maybe a sense of pressure, and it's usually brushed off. But over the years, that constant strain builds. It's like a slow leak. By the time you notice the damage, it's harder to undo. Now, the good news. The prostate is a resilient organ. In fact, many of the issues associated with chronic sitting and pressure are reversible, or at least manageable, when addressed early. That's why awareness is power, and action is freedom. Here's a practical step you can take right now. Just stand up. Shift your weight from one leg to the other. Feel that difference? Your body's telling you something. And tomorrow, when you sit down with your morning coffee or to read the paper, just pause and ask, am I crushing my prostate right now? One small moment of awareness today could save you years of discomfort later. And if you liked this video, watch this one on the screen.